two great big gobs of white. Take my brush and turn it over like that. Two great big gobs of white. I'm going to take just a little bit of blue. Touch the plate, little blue. I'm going to put the blue in the center like that. Then bring some white to it until I get a blue that is in the range of the sky that we're going to paint, okay? And it can be lighter or darker. So I'm going to get that blue there. Then go up here and start. If you'll notice, you got a horizon line that goes right across here. Above that is white, and above that is blue. So I'm going to go up in here and start just making a squiggly line of sorts that starts to say what the horizon is. And then I'll just start using my brush. I don't pick it up. I go in all different directions. And it just fills up all of the pores of the canvas. And each time you pick up a little bit more, and it doesn't have to be the same exact color because the sky is a little different in color everywhere based on the amount of moisture that's in the air. So I'm going to just pick that up. Work that in, trying not to make any hard lines where my sky meets the clouds. And just put a little bit more blue. Well, that's it. Just knock it right off the canvas. You can do that. Got it down? Okay, so we've got basically a blue sky. And it's got some tonal changes in it of color, different color here and there. Everything's filled up. All the pores are filled up. And the brush isn't creating any specific pattern. It's just going here and there. So, after having done that, I'm going to take my brush, bang it up and down in the water a whole bunch of times. The banging in the water is what causes the bristle to release the paint. So then you grab a couple pieces of paper towel, wad them up in a ball, and take that brush head and put in there. And just squeeze that until you get all the moisture out of the brush. Then pick up just white. You're going to go back now and paint in some clouds. And at this point, I'm going over the edge of the clouds, making sure that I've painted everything. And it just change it just a little bit. And I'm going to come down, maybe 3.5 to 4 inches, something like that, with that white. Doing the same thing as I did with it when I was putting the blue on, okay? Just bringing it down like that, making sure that everything is filled in. Now, I know when you're painting white on white, it's kind of hard to see, but you can look at it from an angle and you'll be able to tell that the pores are filled. You'll see how it reflects the light. Now, let's put a little bit of clouds up in the sky here. So let's go here and just a couple clouds up there. What do you think? Take some more. I think there's something over here. And, maybe something that goes off that way. But if you don't like anything that you did, make up a little bit darker blue and eliminate it. Just take it right back to the essence of what you wanted and go from there. So it's a give and take, a back and forth motion as you're painting. I'm going to take a little bit of that blue. I'm going to lighten it right here, and then I'm going to take that and add some shadows in that cloud. Just kind of work a little bit of blue lightly in there so it's not completely white. We may add some white on top of that. We can go back with the clouds now and add a little bit more white if we like. Just a little here and there. What do you think? How are we doing? All right. So, we basically finished the cloud formation. I'm going to set my palette down here and look at the colors. What I'm going to do next is make the, yeah, and it's hard to point over there, isn't it? It's kind of hard to point at that one when it's over here. But at any rate, in the middle there, that lighter color, I'm going to pick up some yellow. I'm going to put it with that blue and white that I have on my plate. Just add a little bit of that. And I'm going to soften it just a little bit by adding a little bit of red. Okay? I'll take that as my first color that I put on here. And I'm going to look at the top of this line, and I'm going to use my brush in an up and down motion here to kind of create that top line of that lighter color that's in there. Just a little bit. Pick up a little bit more of it. Darken the color just a little bit. Add a little bit more yellow. See, I'm working in real small amounts on the same palette. Go back in and start adding some more lighter colors that are in there. This over here on this canvas, Randy, the light is really washed out. Because in front of me, I can see green, but it's not coming across green on the overhead screen. It looks good on this screen, though. On that screen it does? Yeah. Okay. All right. Then we'll just keep right on going. So I've darkened it again, trying not to create any one look here. Let me pick up just a little bit of this color here and add some warmth up in here. Put some more color right up in there. Make that brighter. Adding yellow at this point is like adding sugar to your coffee. It just sweetens it up. What we're going to need to do also is work on the palette being right here so that I can go right down to it. All right, we got those colors in. Now I'm going to take a whole bunch of that yellow and add a little bit of black to it. Oh, yes, he did. And a little bit of blue. It's going to make kind of an olive green sort of color. We're going to start going down there and adding a darker tone along as we go. Bringing it darker down. We're going to darken the bottom a lot here. Can you see how dark it is in the bottom? So we'll pick up some more blue, a lot of it, some more yellow. Let's go do it again. Only this time you see it's darker still. Some blues are showing through there. That's okay. It's all, every painting you do is a little different. I'm only using that painting over there as an example of what we're doing tonight. And then I'm going to modify it as I go. How's that looking? Are we getting there? Getting there. How about some darker color at the bottom? Let's see what that looks like. How's that? All right. Now let's clean our brush. And again, we're going to bang it up and down a whole bunch of times. That's 116. Some of you might not think that 116 is a real number, but it is. It's the number that's right after 115 and right before 117. So it's a real number. But now whether you do this up and down 116 times or not, I don't know. But you could count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and you'd be done. How about that? All right, got a clean brush. All right. Similarities between the two, but neither of them are exact. So let's take our palette. I'm going to now, instead of using the big brush, I've now moved to the small brush. And I'm going to make a neutral green by adding a little bit of yellow to that blue. I don't want to be real dark. Might add just a little black to change it up. Okay. Now I'm going to take that and go up here, and I always use my little finger as a guide as to where I'm at on the canvas. So I touch my little finger just like that to the canvas, and then I turn my hand to where it's right underneath it. And then I hold my brush here and use my little finger as a guide as I bring those strokes down into the canvas. So I'm going to just put, I don't know, I think there's 143 of them there. What do you think? You can count, I guess. They're going in various directions. They don't have to be one way. They can cross each other too. Some of them can be higher, some of them lower. Well, I made a smudge right there. Let's see, if you kind of lick your finger and kind of do like that, that'll make that right go away. That's what happens when you drag your little finger through black paint. Let's make some of those little seed pods that are on there. You take those and you start by making kind of a shape that looks like a Q-tip, round at the end, and then bring your brush around like that. See that? Looks like it's facing down. This one is facing the other way. There's quite a few of those in the painting. It adds another texture. You can go along there, and again, they don't have to connect to anything. They don't have to be at the end of anything. They can be higher. They can be lower. Have you ever seen these things blooming, poppies? I think the seed pod head gets heavy and it leans down, and then right before it blooms, it comes up. How many we got there? Is that about enough? Oh, you got to have one sneaking on from the outside here. Hey, maybe another one going off. You know, because it's a snapshot in space. Okay? All right. So let's get a little bit more. Let's put some leaves on some of those stalks. I'm going to go up here and just, you know, it's not a specific shape. It's just a shape that does something like this. You don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe you know what it is. Put a few here and there. Let's try to get a little up here. All right, just a few. I'm going to now take a number 6 round brush, and what I'm going to do is put it in this red here, load it up. You want a whole bunch of paint. See how much paint's on that brush? It's just all loaded up with paint, because we're going to make big shapes with that. So we want a lot of paint on the brush like that. So we're not trying to be dainty, just get a whole bunch. And you see how it's on all sides of the brush? It's not just on one side. All right? Loaded it up. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go up in the sky now and put a beginning of a poppy. So there's that. How's that? Is that working for you? I'm just starting by making a round shape at the top. I've got my palette up here now because I'm just using nothing but red. I'm putting down and making it round and then bringing it down. How do you know where to put them? Well, it's useful if you put them on the end of those stems you created. But they wouldn't all have to be out there on the end of a stem. We'll show you that here in just a minute. Just press down, press down. There's no right or wrong shape. Why? Well, you know, a flower, I guess, is just like a hand. You know, a hand is, you know, looking at you that way, or it's looking at you that way, or it's looking at you that way, or this way. And so it has many shapes, so you don't want to create any one thing. You got a little bit of irregularity with the brush, like I do right here now, kind of works to my advantage. Gives me a little bit of texture to the things. Let's see what we can do over here. Make that one go off the painting a little bit. Let's bring something down here a little bit. All right. I'm going to change brushes now to one that is a little bit thinner. Still a number 6 round, but sometimes some brushes are fatter than others. I'm going to make a few of these look like they might face one direction or another. So if I take a shape and I start it this direction, and then give it a little bit of a look like that, it makes it look like it's facing that way. I can make it face the other way, facing the other way a little bit. Let's take here and put something that looks like it's facing away. Now I'm going to start with some smaller ones that are in this range here. And you see they don't have to be on a stalk. Stalk, is that the right word? Plant stalk? Make some small ones out here. What these small ones represents is something that's out further in the distance, a little bit further away on the horizon line. Then as we come down, we'll start making something large again. Because they're in the forefront. It's not, again, any specific shape. It's just color. Something that looks a bit like a flower. Our mind tells us that it's flowers. You know, I had a painting that had some birds in it, and they didn't have any legs. Nobody ever noticed they didn't have any legs. About 1 out of every 50 people noticed that. So we got flowers without stems, and it didn't bother you until we pointed out that we didn't have any. Just grab that paint, put it on there, make some of them big. And some of them can be smaller still. They can touch too. It's okay in the flower world. They can be right up against each other. Let's get a couple more here and we'll be just about done with this part of the painting. I think that'll just about do it for that part of the painting. So I'm going to clean that brush. And let's go back and put some black in there for the center of some of these poppies. I'm mainly concerned with the ones here in the foreground. I'm loading my brush up a whole lot because my paint's still wet here on the canvas. I want to make sure it doesn't blend. I can kind of make these flowers look like they go different directions by the shape of that I put in. I can make it look like the flower's looking up like that one, or I can make it look like it's looking this way by the shape that you put in. Up. A little that way. Some of them could be facing the other way. We'll show you how to do that there in a minute. I'm going to put a couple. Maybe up here how about this one here? We can put something there. Most of these are looking away. Got to kind of look for the ones that might look at you. About a little one right there. All of them don't have to have anything in them. I'm going to go back to green. So we'll pick up that yellow, blue. I'm going to add a little black. Could have added red. That'd do the same thing. Now, on maybe a couple of these, I'll go in here and put something that's if that shape is here on the back side, you see how it points that flower that direction? See, now we know that that's the back. Oh, here's one that didn't get a stem. We avoided the flower. We didn't have to. We could have done this because that one's behind the other one. Just a little few here and there. I want to put a few stems, I don't know. Just put some shapes in there, just some lines that kind of suggest some stems and stuff are going on. What do you think? Okay, Brandy, can we cut?